Hello. Greetings, everyone. Happy Saturday, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with Chantel. We first thank God for another day, life, health, strength. We thank Him for another opportunity to just be back together, sharing, experiencing, beginning to reflect on those things that mean the most to us. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning thus far. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to fellowship with your family and to just be able to love and fellowship with them, putting aside differences and being able to love, laugh. Many people were not as fortunate to experience that on this past holiday. But if you were, I'm so glad that you were able to have that. And if not, it gives you something to look forward to the upcoming year, or just opportunities in life where you just put aside the differences and know that family is sometimes does not always look like blood, does not always look like what you're related to, but it's those people that you surround yourself by, or surround yourself around, that push you to be better, hold you accountable. You are all striving for bigger and better goals. Sometimes they have the hard conversations with you that allow you to put things in perspective. Family does not always look like what you're related to anymore. It's different. It comes from all different walks of life. It comes from different people, and those that see the greater good or want you to succeed or have your like-minded has drawn you guys together. So I hope everybody was able to enjoy the holiday. Did anybody do any shopping? Because of course, you know, supposedly the biggest day during the Thanksgiving season is Black Friday, because of course they throw all of the sales and they have all of the specials going on. A lot of people like being out in the hustle and bustle of it all. I, on the other hand, do not. I have never liked the lines. I don't like, just the small places with a whole bunch of people. I know some people live, eat, sleep, breathe, prepare. They map out all of this for that, but that's kind of not my thing. Online, yes, have it down to a science. Have devices that are up so that I am where I need to be, getting what I need to get. But this year it was kind of different because I was really in a place of, if I really don't need it, I'm not going to purchase it. My kids are at an age where, toys and all of those games and electronics and stuff, they have all of those things. So it was nothing that we really needed. Did I do some window shopping? Yes, I did. Not going to say that I didn't purchase anything, but it was nothing that, I just felt like I just had to have. It was just maybe an occasional run across and, oh, I like that. Or, just in the other list of gifts that I have to purchase for the Christmas season that's coming up, just jumped on and purchased that thing. But nothing that, I really was pressed about. Of course, it is now officially the Christmas season, and trees are going up, people's lights are going up. I was able to see so many houses that were very well decorated, very well in preparation for the Christmas season, which some people skipped over Thanksgiving and they went right to Christmas. Some people took their time and they don't normally put them up until after Thanksgiving. I, being one of those people, do not put my Christmas tree up until after Thanksgiving. But a lot of people love the Christmas holiday, and I'm not saying that I don't love it. I'm just not pressed to pull all that stuff out. And then it's the takedown for me. But I've seen some beautiful, beautiful decorations and trees. And despite whatever the weather is, wherever you live, sometimes the Christmas decorations kind of camouflages all of that and kind of puts you into a winter feeling, puts you into, snow. And even though you're not going to get snow, it kind of puts you in that mindset that, hey, it's cold and it's the winter season. And, of course, we grew up on Santa and the reindeer and all those kind of things. It just all brings it back to your remembrance when you start seeing the lights and the trees and the different decorations, the garland and the different colors. It just puts you in that mindset of a white Christmas, winter, regardless of wherever you live. It puts you in that mindset. My children are in their older teen, young adult era. And so aside from, like making the house look nice for the Christmas holiday, there's not really much we do. And I guess it's a blessing. And then as a mom or a parent, it's kind of bittersweet because you want to do all of those things that you did when they were younger, the stuffing of the stockings, the elf on the shelf, all those kind of things. But, once they get older, none of that stuff is cool. So, I'm elated to see them at an older age, but it just kind of makes your mind jog back to all the little things that you did when they were younger for the Christmas season, and making sure that they were good and reminding them that, they had to stay off the naughty list and all those kind of things. It's just bittersweet, but it brings back good memories. So we can always talk about it, and we laugh at some of the things that they did when they were growing up in preparation for Christmas, making sure that they got everything that they asked for, from, finding the Santa Claus sitting on his lap, taking the pictures, making sure they wrote Santa Claus and giving them their Christmas list, down to making reindeer food and leaving cookies for Santa, cookies and milk, and making sure, because of course I grew up in Germany, and one of the traditions in Germany were you were to leave your shoes outside of your house, and then they would fill your shoes with like candy and small gifts and stuff like that. So just all of those kind of just puts the holiday in full gear. And so many plans are swirling for the holiday season. What are your plans for the holiday? Do you know exactly what you're going to do? Are you going to be traveling? Are you going to be vacationing? Are you planning for family to come in? Are you just going to kind of relax, chill at home? Are you wearing matching pajamas? Are y'all, doing anything extra special? All of these things normally come out during the holiday, and it kind of just gives you something to look forward to. It gives, the family just a different vibe that everybody can participate and have fun, smile, and be able to love one another. Again, welcome to everybody. So glad that you are taking the time to tune in. For all of those that are listening for your very first time, please make sure that you like, share, and comment. Let me know where you're listening from. Share this to somebody that might need an encouraging word, that might need an extra push throughout the course of the week, whatever it is. I'm glad that I can be that voice of reason. But today's episode is titled Life is Worth Living. And when I thought about this, it was only because over the course of the holidays, of course, the holidays are approaching, and many people kind of internalize so much, and they forget that even though the holidays are here, even though You may be alone. You may be, you may have a significant other. Your family may be in one location. You may be in another location. Life is still worth living. We're living in a time in a society now where people do not value life. They either live life recklessly or so unconsciously that they have no remorse to whether they live or die. We're living in a time now where people forget where they've come from. They forget the things that have brought them over. They forget where they used to be and kind of, frown upon all different walks of life. Times are changing, and where people of age used to be dying, it's now our younger generation that are losing their lives. Younger generation of all ages are losing their lives, from violence to drugs to mental health and just, life situations, health. All these things are causing people to lose their life. What used to be a privilege to many people to make it in their 70s in age, 70s, 80s, 90s, has now changed. And it's a blessing to see the age of 21. And I'm not saying that it's only the young generation that's dying, but so many here in the past few months, whether it be the 30s, the 40s, 50s, are either being, strucken with illnesses that are life altering. They are dying, leaving this world, leaving their parents. Their parents are now burying them. It's so much going on. But still, we have to, even with all of that going on, my encouragement today is that whether you are young or whether you are old, life is still worth living. It does not matter if you are sick. It doesn't matter if you're happy. It doesn't matter if you're sad. Life is still worth living. If you take a spiritual look at life, in the Bible there is a passage that says in John 10:10, "The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they have it more abundantly." And how do we do that? First of all, the I in this passage solely speaks to God. God gives us life so that we can live it more abundance. Now, abundantly kind of means a whole list of things, but how do we live? And how do we do that? How do you have to kind of live? The abundance of life is given when you live. You've heard the song, "You're going to live to see it happen." Well, in order to see it happen, you have to live. Never once in the Bible or in books or in all of these many philosophers and teachers did they say that life was ever going to be easy, that you weren't going to experience things. For many, life has been a teacher to majority of us. But how do you live? You live in a mindset that says, you know what, in all things, A, I'm going to give thanks. B, I'm going to see the greater good out of everything. And C, I won't complain because there's a reason for everything. And so that's, a good way that you could live life, that you don't make excuses for anything, that you take the good as well as with the bad. I mean, it's those experiences in life that cause you to walk into the next situation and be better, do better, and know better. Never has it been said that life would be easy or hard. Never said we weren't going to have ups or downs. Never was it said that we wouldn't have come ups and setbacks. Never has it been said that we wouldn't experience heartbreak. laughter and tears, failures and triumphs, because you experience all this in life. To experience this, to live, you have to experience some of this. Like I said, life has been the best teacher to many of us because we've experienced these things. And when we experience these things, one of the greatest things about living and experiencing these things is when you see somebody else going through the same familiar situation, you're able to give them enlightenment on it. It does not mean that they have to take your advice. It does not mean that they have to listen to what you say. You solely can just be an example that, guess what? There is a silver lining to it all. There is joy after the rain. In the Bible, it says that weeping may endure for a night, but there's joy in the morning. You're that sole testimony that, guess what? It won't always rain, that there will be good. There will be sunshine. If I was able to get through it, then so can you. Your life can be a daily reminder for some that, guess what? It won't always be like this, but that as you continue to live, as you continue to trust, as you continue to build and work and keep the faith, that life will begin to unfold and manifest itself in a way that's beneficial to you. Life to some extent is trial and error. We have to try things, and we figure out what works, and we figure out what doesn't work, and we make it a teachable moment. Like I said prior, some of the things that we went through, whether it was in our younger years, whether it was when we were a child, we hold on to those life lessons so that A, we won't revisit them again, or B, when we see it again through somebody else, a friend, an associate, a sibling, a child, a grandchild, we're able to give them, hey, guess what? Well, even though times were different, the situation is still similar. And this is what I did. This is what I was given, and I still made it out. This is what happens when you put your trust in God. This is what happens when you continue to pray. This is what happens when you study. This is what happens when you keep pushing, when you block out all of the naysayers. This is what happens. You're able to give them a teachable moment that gives them hope, that gives them a better outlook on the situation. What do I mean when I say trial and error? Example, spiritually, we try everything in life to make sure we go to heaven, that we stay in right alignment with God. From being a good person, volunteering, giving back, and still, in many instances, we have no peace. But it's when we give our life to God that there is a peace that passes all understanding. There is a moment where you can rest better. There's a moment where worry is not something that you are wearing day in or day out. Trust is not something that you are looking to people for, but you solely trust God that if he brings you to it, he's going to bring you through it. This is what life is having faith that all that God says that I can have, I will have, if I just believe. Faith without works is dead. Our life is our work, and it builds our faith, and it builds our relationship, and it builds our trust that's in him. And all of those moments that we have, we're able to look back on them and see the change and believe the change and understand that life made me and built me and equipped me for everything that we're going through right now. Life is worth living. I can remember my parents singing a song, Try Jesus. And it's an old song, and I don't know if anybody even knows. So I don't even know if they made this song up, but I can remember them singing it, and it goes, try Jesus, for when you tried everything and everything must fail, try Jesus. And it was just after you've tried everything, after you've done it all on your own and everything still fails, try Jesus. He will make sense of it all. And I did not understand then, even being, as many of you know, even being a PK kid, even, walking and following my parents, I still had to try Jesus for myself and understand that he knew what was best for me. He knew that I would be okay. He knew that I would walk this walk in ministry, walk this walk in life that would cause me to solely lean and depend on him. Everything that I'm going through now, I don't worry, I don't fear, I don't fret. The enemy gets no response from me because I know what God told me. I know what he says that I can have. I know he heard every one of my prayers. Excuse me. I know he said that if I ask him, he'll give it to me. And so I'm unbothered by everything that the enemy posts. And I just keep living. I live because I'm going to see it happen. Life is worth living. Life becomes so much more when you allow God to lead and to guide you. You can handle all the ups and downs, all the joy and the sorrow. Even though it hurts, you handle it. Even though, sometimes you look and say, well, I did this. But you have to give honor where honor is due. God allowed me to do this because without life, I would not be here. Without life, I would not be able to obtain what I have obtained. You can handle, when you're living with God, you can handle the failures and the triumphs. You don't internalize it so much that you become a quitter. You keep going. You take it. You go back to the drawing board. You revamp. You reboot. You re-strategize. You reread some things. You reconstruct that which you have set out to do. And guess what? And you keep going. You are able to handle the come-ups and the setbacks. Those are all part of life. Life is worth living. What good is life if you never see or experience the downside? Because in order to enjoy the upside and get to the upside, there has to be a downside. And it does not say that it has to be detrimental, that it has to be so huge that guess what? The comeback is so unobtainable or so hard. But the mere fact that, guess what? I had to get down on my knees and pray. I did shed some tears. I did have to sweat. I did have to work out a little bit harder. I did have to train. I did have to study. I did have to do all of the things to get to where I am. Life is worth living. If even not the spiritual side, life is worth living because I can enjoy the sunrises of every morning. God gives us life, and when he allows us to open up our eyes and see the sun, it's easy. Like there's a song, it's easy like a Sunday morning, waking up and seeing the sunrise or experiencing the sunset. That's life worth living. It's so peaceful. It's so tranquil to be able to just sit and look and be amazed at the things that God has created. The experience of every season and every holiday. So many people look forward to Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, birthday, Halloween, we call it Halloween night, but it's a time where we get together and we show our children that there's an alternative to something. They look forward to Valentine's Day. They look for all of those things. All this, we look forward to spring, winter, summer, fall, because those are times where we live life. Those are moments where we experience life and we can enjoy it. Even in the hustle and bustle of it all, we still enjoy life. Life is worth living when you can enjoy or have the enjoyment of travel and adventure to explore or discover new things that you would have never been able to do or never have done before, or you're able to open up the eyes to someone else who may have only seen life in a certain manner, and you're able to give them that exposure that they need. Let nothing but God put limits on what you can and can't do. Living life means that I can do everything that I desire, everything that's in the will of God, everything that allows me to live my life in the abundance that God says that He came for. God intended me to do all that I've done. And yes, it was hard lessons. And yes, it was tears cried. And yes, it was times where I had to sit back and go back to the drawing board. Yes, it was times where I went without. Yes, it was times where I had to learn a hard lesson. But guess what? I take no regrets in the life that I live, because this life has made me who I am. This life has been a testimony for everything that I've gone through. This life is an encouragement to somebody that may be walking the same walk that I've walked. Live life on purpose. I'm living life on purpose at this moment. I take nothing for granted. I don't regret anything. I'm not sorry for anything, except for the fact that I took so long to try Jesus. Even when I knew that He was the way, the only way, the answer and the keys and the tools that I need. That's the only thing that I think I'm regretful for. But even in that, I believe it was something that I had to go through to understand and to cherish and to care and to love for the relationship that we have now. Live your life like it's golden. Take care of your life. A lot of times we get so caught up in life that we forget about health. We forget about taking care of our mental, taking care of our spiritual. All of those things allow us to live life in abundance. We have to take care of all of those things in order to live. And even looking at it from a natural standpoint, like in order for us to remain healthy, there are things that we have to take care of. We have to make sure we're exercising, we're getting the necessary water intake, that we are going to all of our doctor's appointments, that we're listening to what the doctors say, that we are doing what's best for our body, that we control all of those things that will throw our body out of whack, that we take our vitamins, that we exercise, that we get out and move and make sure that we're not keeping ourselves all boxed in. Even with our mental, that we are, journaling or writing or being able to talk, having someone to talk to and getting all of that stuff out of our mind so that we're not holding all those things in, which can ultimately cause us to die from the inside out. That's some of the things that we're learning about now. Even with our mental, that sometimes we hold on to so many things that it causes us to die from the inside out. You want to know why you have, those physical ailments that you do, but you're battling on the inside mentally, and it becomes to show up physically. Same thing with spiritual. When we're not living our life spiritually correct, it begins to show on the outside, on the inside, how we're living our lives, how we're walking, how we're talking. It begins to show up in those areas. So if you live life like it's golden, we take care of things that mean something to us. We take care of gold. Gold is precious. So life is precious. So everything that I am doing, I'm going to take care of. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of the things that I can control that are around me. I'm going to make sure I place myself in the right situations. Make sure that I'm not doing things that are contrary to what I'm speaking. I'm living life like it's golden, and I'm keeping my eyes wide open and seeing things for how God intended me to see them, not in a negative connotation, but in a positive connotation that, guess what? There's a reason for everything that's going on. And it gets our attention and allows us to think differently, move differently, and being differently. Life is just the living. Just because he lives. There's a song, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because God has given us life, we wake up, we have the activity of our limbs, we are able to live, move, and have our being just because he came that we can have life and life more abundantly. Life is just the living, just because he lives. Live to see it happen. Life is worth living. Continue living on purpose. Be purposeful in your living. Don't just do nothing, but do everything that you have asked God for. Do everything that you desire to do. Do everything to make sure that when your time is done, you will have said, I have lived life to the fullest. And that does not mean that you're getting in trouble, that you're trying any and everything, but you're living on purpose, that your purpose is being fulfilled in the earth. Live to see it happen. Life is worth living. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is my encouragement to each and every one of you, even on this Saturday. Live to see it happen. Live your life to make a difference in someone else's life. Make a difference in your own life. That, guess what? Even though the odds were stacked against me, even though I may have started off rough, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There is joy after the rain. Live your life and see it happen. Life is worth living, and keep living your life with all the worth that it is worth to you. Thank you again so much for all those that are chiming in. I hope you enjoy this beautiful day. To each and every one of you, if you did miss the podcast on Thanksgiving, happy holidays to you. Don't get so caught up into the holidays that you forget that life is the greatest gift that God has ever given us. Make sure you like, share, and comment, and share this with somebody that might need a reason to keep on living, that might need a reason to keep on pushing. Life is worth living. Thank you so much. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye.